Hi, I'm Void,
I'm Enigma.
and this is the CDL report.
Let's get into it. We had the major this past weekend. Void, how we feeling about it? How was your weekend? Did you have a good time to watch?
I had a good time watching, but man, it was kind of boring. This was one of the worst majors we've had. It was a lot of 3-0s and 3-1s,
Yeah,
like a lot
uh,
of them.
yeah. This was. I don't think it was the worst major in the world, but it. After major one, I thought we'd be getting just more competitive series.
Yeah,
But that just wasn't the case. A lot of 3-0s, 3-1s. Only one map 5 in a major.
that's crazy.
That's ridiculous. And it happened on the Sunday. Like, all right, let's just get right into it. We got the matches. This is from Thursday. Ravens just did not show up this weekend. Briefly touch on that. Surge 3-0.
I mean, just Gwyn is just the biggest onliner we've
Yeah,
ever
it
seen.
it
He cannot,
saddens
I
me to
don't know
say.
what it is, but he just cannot translate it to land. It's a
Yeah,
simple fact. He's played in plenty of lands at this point. You know, it. I don't know what else you can expect from him except average performances at land.
yeah, and I feel like their whole play style kind of revolves around Gwyn doing
It
his
does
thing, and it just doesn't work when he doesn't. And he just did not show up. He
not at
showed up
all.
against Falcons, but does that even count?
That
Falcons
doesn't
aren't even a
count.
real team. Like, let's move on from that match. Surge just looked good in that one. Ultra, New York, New York with the hot 3-0. This one was shocking to me personally. This was a nice shock. We had that map one Hacienda go down to the wire. That map one was probably my match of the year so far. Up to this point, we're at Major Two. That was my map of the year.
Yeah, no, I definitely see that. I mean, with how Ultra played throughout the rest of the major, this is definitely the most shocking result. You know, uh, I feel like after this series, they kind of just played with a vengeance.
Yeah.
You know, they knew they shouldn't have been down in that losers bracket, and they played like it.
Yeah, absolutely. C9 with a nice upset, and we had another upset with the Boston Breach taken down in a 3-1 fashion by LA Thieves. Um, I crazy for really loving that this happened?
I mean, you're definitely a little crazy. I definitely love upsets as much as the next
I'm
guy,
I'm
but
such a sucker for an underdog story, man.
this was probably the most shocking match of the
Yeah,
almost the entire year.
yeah. I
Like you
expected Thieves to just take care of business, like
exactly.
7-0 online. They looked insane at the previous major. You just expected them to repeat. Their comms were horrible on that Thursday. They just sounded dead. Boston came out hot. Like Snoopy, man. The Snoopy resurgence is so nice to see.
I don't know if it's just me, but it felt like LA Thieves just expected to plow through everyone at this major and
Yeah,
didn't expect an upset.
nah, I could definitely see that. It felt like they were just going into the event, especially on that Thursday, just going in thinking they're gonna out talent everyone just because they have that talent, and like it was just gonna be piece of cake, easy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Thieves came out short in that match. That was a fun watch. Rocker got dominated by Faze, expected. Like I don't think anyone had
Nope. That was
Rocker
so expected.
Rocker upset. And then we go on to the Friday where Thieves had their back against the wall against the Heretics. Heretics, they did drop out top 12,
But I
but
think they played pretty well.
I think they played really well. I
I
actually
think
think
they
they
were so
should
much
have
better than
taken
LA.
that map to map 5.
if they didn't verse LA Thieves, I genuinely think they probably would have won.
I
Like
think
they played really well.
they just threw that control. Honestly, if they didn't
Yeah.
throw the control, this was a much different series. Control is that swing mode where once like you get hot, you dominate in the control, and then you can just take the series away from there. And that's exactly what happened there. Heretics, dude, Real is incredible, man. Real is so good, and it just upsets me that he's on this crappy Miami team.
Oh, you gotta hype up Rancor as
Rencor
well.
too. Rencor too. Those
Like both
guys
those
are
players
insane.
have been really playing well. Like even with
Yeah.
their struggles, Rancor has been putting up the numbers.
Yes.
It feels like he's trying to carry the team. But Lucky and Metals just
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. They're just not that good.
I don't know. Metals, when
He
he's
has his
playing to
moments.
his like potential, is really good and really impactful, but he's so inconsistent. I do agree with the Lucky. Like Lucky's just not that good. He's just there. It feels like he's just there because they need another Spanish guy.
Yeah,
Like
that's what
that's
it definitely feels like.
like
I don't know who they pick up. I mean, I
Super.
know they
They got
they
Super on the bench. You might as well.
Yep. I mean, they had Super for what, one or two series, and he didn't really play well.
Yeah, but like anyone's better than
I,
Lucky
I,
at this point.
I think Lucky's playing better than what Super did, and that's kind of
Yeah,
saying
but you
something.
can't judge that based off two matches when you're thrown into just league matches, not even a major, just league matches. Like I don't know. I'm not judging Super that harshly. I
I
do
don't think he's
understand it,
terrible, but
but yeah, I don't know. They might as well. I don't think it hurts them. They just placed top 12. I still think that Major One showing was a fluke. I
definitely was.
I think they need to try something. Next series, Ravens Falcons. The Falcons are not a real team. They're genuinely like not real. Like I don't understand. I'm saying it again. We're in a 48 person league, 12 teams, and we're supposed to be playing the pinnacle of COD, top tier Call of Duty. Why are we wasting a year of nonsense? I'm sick of it. I'm I'm so sick of watching them.
Bro, it's
Uh,
so sad because they have players that can compete.
the only one
You
is
know?
Xnid. Blow it up.
Yeah,
Xnid Xnid is not just their best player. The guy grinds. He's always streaming. And
yeah.
I love that. Like he wants this bad. You can see it even in the streams. Now I don't understand anything what he's saying in the streams. I have no idea what he's saying, but you can see passion even when you don't understand the language. The guy wants it. The guy's a shooter. I think they just need to blow it up and just keep him. If they even keep the Saudi Arabian roster.
I feel
Uh,
like they're gonna keep at least one Saudi Arabian.
I think Exton's their guy. Unless Kicks comes back, but like who knows? Let's move on. Optic Texas shocked us, man. We had them losing. Optic with a hot 3-0. Rocker out of the tournament top 12.
I mean, definitely surprising for Rocker because on the online qualifiers, they played like they can actually. They weren't winning, but they were competing with some of the top teams,
Yes.
right? To be. We expected the 3-0 from Faze. We know how Faze is on land.
Yep.
But this 3-0 from Optic just completely shook me.
The map
I
one was pretty close.
It was, but the rest of the series just wasn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what to say about Rocker. Like, Paul just needs to go.
Oh,
Like,
not Paulie.
Paul just needs to go.
Yeah, I do.
Like,
I do love Paul. Like the guy is just like a good personality in the space,
yeah,
but
it
he's
looks
just
like he
not
really
competing.
tries hard, but
Yeah,
he
he's just
he's
not
always
competing.
just like that step below of what a pro should be.
I
You
don't
know, he's
think
gotten his
that's.
plenty of chances too. Like,
He's gotten a few chances, Um, I don't think this loss was on him. I
I mean,
think,
it was on all of them personally, but
dude,
it,
Nero's who I'm looking at personally. The guy was insane in stage one. He fell off a cliff in this stage and at the major. He was just lost. Like I don't know what he was doing. I think he dropped a .6 in this series. Like it was just not pretty. Obviously, Paul didn't play that well either. But Gio stepped up big time on
he
land.
has been their best player, honestly.
Estrio's been their best player online and land combined. Gio's been up and down online, but he's turned up big time on land. Uh, I feel like Estrio is just that guy for them. That he's doing so like he's doing everything to try to bring them to a win.
I definitely think you build around Estriel. I think you keep Estriel and Geo.
Yeah,
I
this is a
think
two-person.
you definitely drop Paul. Nero's kind of like
Nero, you can
he
give him
has
another
his highs.
chance. I think.
He has his highs. Yeah, he had a bad major, but we've seen players have bad majors before and
True.
then bounce back the next one.
That's a fair
You
point.
know, I think if you're gonna make a change, it's gonna be Paul. I don't really know who you pick up for him.
He
I don't
fell.
follow challenge. I don't watch challengers that much. But
I,
yeah, I
you
agree
were
with
you were
Fellow.
calling for for optic fellow for weeks and weeks and weeks. I think it's rocker fellow. I think he fits perfectly into that roster. Like, dude, they need someone who could shoot back. Like, I love Paul, but like, he just does not shoot back against the top teams. Optic looked good though. It made me wonder why they weren't playing protocol control all this time, and they just kept going with Vol, Vol, Vol. They looked insane on that protocol control.
Maybe teams are just banning protocol against them.
I don't know. I don't. I mean, I haven't looked at the vetoes that much, but like, dude, I don't get it. Genuinely, I don't get it. They looked really good. Optic as a whole looked really good. Skies did drop a .7, but like he had almost 3 minutes of hill time on that map one, so you let it slide.
Yeah, but I don't think Skies is the answer for this team. I don't know if it's
He
a
was
one roster move
never.
you gotta make or
Yeah,
like a two roster move. I don't know what it is with Optic. Just something's gotta change.
Skies was never the solution. Skies was a
No.
band aid. He was a band aid. That's what it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, they needed someone to fill in for Kenny because Kenny was dropping .3s. You can't win at like I'm very high on Kenny, but you can't win at this level dropping .3s, and Kenny knows that. He knows he was playing bad. I think his comeback is gonna be insane wherever he goes. I don't think
I'm
it's
not
gonna be
too
on
sure if
this
he's gonna
game.
make a comeback
I
though.
don't think it's gonna be on this game. I think he's
I
gonna take the
mean,
year off like Slasher did last
I
year.
think I think the biggest problem, like just how the movement and how the gunplay is, just doesn't suit Kenny. And this is how Call of Duty is going to be in the future. I'm not sure how much he can really adapt to it.
I don't. I have way
I
more
mean,
faith in Kenny.
I have faith in Kenny, but there's still a little skepticism, you
I hear
know?
you. I know. I definitely hear you. He would tell you himself. Like the guy's not an idiot. Like he's not delusional. He's not gonna think, oh, I've been playing really well. If you watch his streams, like he takes accountability. And in his tweet, he took accountability. Like he knows he wasn't playing at the level he needed to.
Yeah,
I think he was just in his own head. I don't think it was a gun skill problem, personally. Like I just think he was just in his own head, overthinking every little thing.
definitely
Uh,
possible.
I think he's gonna come back. I don't know if it's gonna be on this game. I don't think it is, but he's probably
No,
going to get a spot
I
next
don't know
year.
what team picks up Kenny after his performance
Right
this
now,
game.
yeah. Right now, no. That's probably not happening.
Next year, different game.
We'll see.
He's a two-time world champion. I'm
He's
sure one of
yeah.
the bottom teams will pick him up.
He's gonna get the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah,
Let's move on. Ultra 3-0, Gentlemates. These
not
guys
surprised.
these guys fucking
Penalty suck.
suck. Blow it up. Keep Kismet, drop everyone else. These these guys are awful. I don't even want to talk about this series much.
Nope.
Ravens, Thieves. I don't want to talk about this one much. I'm very high on Ravens. They had a god awful weekend. No one showed up. Thieves looked like themselves after that horrific Boston match.
Yeah, but how much of it was really the Ravens
Yeah,
just being bad?
I
Because like
don't
we've
know.
seen in further series down the line that Thieves just looked kind of lost.
Fair, but I think the Friday and Saturday, Thieves looked like themselves. You saw it in their gameplay, but also in the listen-ins. They sounded way better in those listen-ins compared to the Thursday and the Sunday that
Yeah.
we'll get into later. I think Thieves are just the Ravens boogeyman. Like I just think that's how this series is gonna go for the whole year. Ravens have given me no reason to think otherwise.
No, I
Ravens
agree.
out top eight. And why don't you take us away for the Saturday?
Saturday. Okay. We got Ultra versus Optic Texas. Quick 3-0. I mean, Optic didn't even put up a fight. It it
Yeah,
was it was kind of sad watching it.
they had
Like
opportunities in that map one. I will
they
say.
definitely did, but like Ultra just outgunned them, outplayed them. Everything was on Ultra's side.
Yeah,
I mean, you also have to think, they've only been with Skies for like a week now,
not even.
so there's signs of improvement, but I think it's way too soon to really tell
Yeah,
how the Skies change will really make. Obviously, we saw him 3-0 rocker, so that, like I said, there is improvement, but I don't know. I, I don't think we need to talk much about this series.
yeah. I think what this came down to was Joe Deceives and his playground friends just having having fun. Like that's literally what it was, man. Joe Deceives just went
I mean, don't knock
berserk.
Beans here though.
Oh,
Beans went.
Beans did come through big time.
Beans
Beans
had
just a
a
good player,
great
man.
series.
Yeah, he had a real good series. Joe Deceives is my guy. Like this guy has been absolutely insane in this stage,
Yeah,
and he's bullied Optic. Their last two times I believe they faced. Well, I guess now three. Like he just might be their boogeyman at this point. Let's move on. Optic out. Breach
we got
Surge.
this.
Take it away.
I mean, it was a 3-1, but I gotta say, this was a really close series.
Yeah.
Like,
Uh, that search is gonna haunt Boston because
100%.
if Cammy doesn't team kill with the knife, it's such a different game. Because I believe it was 4-4. I believe that was the 4-4 round, and he team killed instantly, like literally right off the bat of the round, and then they just kind of it looked like they just freaked out, honestly, and then Surge just took advantage.
It was 4-3 Boston.
Oh, 4-3. It was 4-3. Oh, it's even worse. I feel like it's even worse because
Yeah.
then they could have gone up five. Oh man, that's such a
It
shame.
definitely haunts them, but even that Hacienda, like, they won the vault by 2 points, map one. You know, super close game.
Yeah,
We talked about the search being close and how one play could have just decided that entire map.
yeah.
And then
The
the
control
vault,
just don't even.
the control search kind of ran away with it.
Yeah,
But map four, they only lost by 8 points. Like, this was a really amazing showing by Breach. Like, a
yeah,
team just didn't expect to have the kind of weekend that they did, but they beat LA Thieves. They brought Surge. They made it to the finals. They brought Surge to map four, and honestly could have made it a map five.
yeah.
You know,
Uh, this series I thought was going map five. It's disappointing that it didn't because I think we could have gone round 11 there if it got to a map five. These Boston guys really showed out. Like
100%.
this was their top placing for the year so far. Um, Dude, like
If they play this way for the rest of the year, man, I can't wait to watch them.
I still think they need to make a change, personally. That's just me. I think they need to make a change or two. And it's both AR still. Pick one. Like you can pick one.
If I
Uh,
had to pick one, it would be Cammy.
yeah, Cammy. Cammy would be gone.
I ever since Cold War, Cammy has not been him.
Yeah, it's a shame. He's shown glimpses. There are glimpses of that guy,
He
but he's just
has
not consistent enough.
now. Let's move on though.
Yeah,
Next match we had Atlanta Faze versus Cloud9.
dude, this one.
3-1. I mean,
If
yeah,
C9 win the map one, man, they didn't lose it by much. I think it was like 250 to like 200. Yeah.
237.
Oh, that's even closer. Like this was a close one. I actually thought C9 had this in the bag. Going into that first rotation, like I just thought they had it. They looked super comfortable. Faze came back. Obviously, they did their thing. Faze is just dude, all these guys. They don't have bad series.
No,
It's so frustrating.
I mean, Abizi didn't have a great series, but he still dropped basically a .9. Like that. That's not even that bad. I don't know what it is about like Atlanta Faze, but they're just all easily
Insane.
probably like top 5 players in the league. It's
Yeah,
crazy. The
yeah,
consistency too throughout all these years. You know, they win at least one major a year, if
yep,
not two.
yep.
It's it's crazy the consistency of Faze.
Yeah, you can make the argument that that trio is a dynasty, and I feel like you can make.
I would call them a dynasty, and personally, I would say they're the best dynasty.
All
They're
right, I don't know about that one. That's
I
a
will
crazy
say that
take.
they've played less tournaments because just how the league works. They've played
Yes, true.
significantly less tournaments, but I
True.
feel like the league is more competitive now than it was, and they've been on top for so long. The only thing they don't have is the multiple champs. But even the Optic Dynasty only had the one.
God, that is such a horrible take from you, man. That's god awful. It is not more competitive. There's two good teams. Like, what do you mean more competitive? There's two. You win three. Like, you start in the winners bracket. You win three matches, and you're in the finals. Like, what? I don't know. I don't agree with that take. Fair. Agree to disagree. To me, that trio definitely is a dynasty. They absolutely are. They're probably like the worst dynasty, quote unquote, but like that's probably going to change. Like I definitely think they can overtake the Optic Dynasty, the Complexity Dynasty.
I don't see this team breaking up unless
That's what I'm saying though. Like
like
especially with draws, you add draws to that. They're all still so young. These guys are young.
I mean, even if they fail at champs again, like
They got
who do you
EWC to
who do you
back
yeah,
up
but
on.
yeah, but who do you even drop on this team
You
and pick
don't.
up?
You
Like, there's no one
don't.
you can feasibly pick up that will be better than those three.
And it's not
No,
even.
and
And it's
all
not
you're
even
doing is
that.
giving the enemies a better player.
That's what I was about to get at. Because let's say you drop Celium, right? Last year they were gonna drop him if they didn't win EWC. That was the rumor. Don't know if it was true or not. You
That
drop Celium, you theoretically you drop him, you make another team significantly better.
I agree.
Like let's say FaZe dropped him, right? What if Ultra grabbed him? What if Optic grabbed him? You make
Oh, what
like
if
a
these grab?
superpower. What if these grabbed him? You make a superpowered team that much better if the top teams get him. Like
Yeah,
all these guys are undroppable. Like these guys are gonna team for a long time. Draws in that equation, he's their perfect fourth. Like they've been searching for that perfect fourth. They tried out RCDs. They got a lot of success with them. Didn't work out. They went with Slasher. Slasher was good for them. Again, didn't work out. Draws has worked out like probably more than they could ever think of.
Exactly.
Like, and these guys are so young that if these four just continue to team, which I fully expect them to, and they keep going at this pace for the next 2, 3, 4 years, they're gonna be the best team ever. Like genuinely, they could be the best team, the best Call of Duty team ever.
Yeah.
Uh, let's move on a little bit. Got a little off track. Ultra
Ultra Breach.
Breach. Yeah, I don't.
I mean, it
Close-ish.
it's
Ish.
close-ish, but I still feel like Ultra kind of dominated them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it was a fluke by Breach, their last two series beating Thieves, bringing Surge to the brink, but I gotta give it to Ultra on this one. Like, this entire weekend, they played amazingly.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like there's few teams that could beat them.
Yeah. I fully agree. Ultra surprised me. I was calling them frauds for the last month and a half ish.
I tried to tell you, they're a tough
You were
team.
you were a believer of the whole team. I was a believer in Joe Deceives. That's the difference. That guy's POV, dude. I think it might be like one of my favorite. Like the more I watch him, that might be like my top 5 favorite POVs to watch. In this game right now, dude. He's so fun. He's so fun. He's not afraid to talk some smack too. He backs it up big time. The guy is fun. Ultra were just firing on all cylinders this weekend.
Yeah.
I was wrong. I'm man enough to admit. They're not frauds. Well, nah, they're not frauds.
Let's move on to the next series, though.
Yeah.
LA Thieves versus Cloud9.
3-0.
I mean, this was a really. I feel like this was a really close series. Besides the map 1, which they
Yeah.
barely managed to not get 100-point clubbed, but
Yeah.
just even map 2, right? If Hydra doesn't get that 1-on-3 clutch,
Dude, I cannot believe he got that.
oh, like that entire map goes completely different. Like they only won 6-5.
Yeah.
You know, like that one round could have cost us C9 that map win, and even map 3, like
It got close.
It got mixy there.
Yeah.
Like C9 really showed up. The only like person that I would really like, I don't know how to word this, but
You're gonna say attach. I know you are.
no, I'm gonna say
No.
Mac.
Ooh, I like that because I've also been calling out Mac.
Like he's not like a terrible player. Like I think he definitely deserves a spot on a team. But if C9 wants to really level up and get better, he's the one you want to replace.
I'm shocked you didn't say attach. You've been on Attach's ass.
Attach has been playing fine though. Like he hasn't been playing amazing, but he's been playing good enough.
Yeah.
You know? Mac
C9 does need to level up
too, but overall, it's just he's letting them down.
I fully agree. I think Attach has been good for them. Like he's really turned up since the last major. Sib's turned up big time. Kremp is easily their best player. Sib is making an argument. Like he's making the discussion a little mixy, but Kremp's been their best player since day one. Which you didn't expect, but you're definitely taken. Like the guy has been insane. Mac's their X factor, man. When Mac gets going, the entire team gets going. Like you saw
it. He doesn't get going that often.
He gets going against the shitters. Like he gets going against the bad teams, with the exception of Ultra, the Ultra 3-0 earlier in the major. Mac was pretty damn good in that series.
I
But yeah, I fully agree. They got to level up. They gave him 2 stages. I think you can make an argument Mac or attach dropped. I think you
definitely
can make
Mac
an
or
argument.
Attach. I
I
agree. There's an
yeah,
argument to be
yeah.
had.
I think it should be Mac personally. I think you're on the same boat as me. I've really liked what I've seen out of attach. But yeah, Mac, the sub is so impactful in this game that you need to level up in the sub department. And that's
Let's move on.
Saturday. Yeah, that is Saturday, man. Now we got Championship Sunday. Um Ultra with a hot 3-0
It wasn't
to
even close.
knock out the LA Thieves. This series was bullying. Like this series was shocking. It was a fun watch at first cuz you were like what the hell is happening? To me, what this series was the Jodeci's redemption. Well, not redemption, revenge story after being dropped from LA Thieves in the offseason. The guy is just came out to play.
100%. I mean, I, uh, you can look at a couple different players throughout the series, especially on Thieves, like Envoy not looking good.
No
Uh,
one looked good.
Personally, for me, like Hydra had the second best KD in this series, but he had the least damage in the entire series.
Yeah, but to be fair to that, subs don't get the most damage
I mean,
usually.
that's true, but from a guy like Hydra, you expect more.
I think they just
Like,
grounded him.
yeah,
I
could
think
be it.
I think the Ultra just grounded that. He ground like Ultra grounded all of them obviously because it was 3-0. It was dominant. Like there wasn't a single second where I was like, "Oh, thieves are really here to play." There
No,
wasn't a single second. Ultra was in the driver's seat the entire time. Hydra just felt grounded for the most part. He wasn't able to make the crazy plays that he was making throughout the stage and some of the major. Like he felt just countered. I guess that's probably the best way to go about it.
I mean it's a. If I'm LA Thieves, this is a poor showing.
This
It,
is this is embarrassing. If
it
I'm being honest, obviously
it's
top
either
4
top
is not a
three.
bad placing.
It's not, but for a team of this caliber and how
Yes.
dominant they were on online matches, this should not be the. They shouldn't. They lost more maps day one of the major than they lost the entire qualifiers.
Damn. Oh my god. I didn't even
Yeah,
think about it like that.
that's how dominant they were coming into this major. A
Yeah.
top four finish, I
It's
would not
yeah.
be happy with that whatsoever.
And it's not even like all top 4 finish. It was a really close series. They just got, luck is luck.
No, yeah,
They got bullied against Ultra. Like it was, yeah, some 3-0s are close. This was not close.
no, not at all.
I love the Thieves. Like I'm a big LA Thieves guy, obviously, but again, I'm not mad at a top 4 placing. I'm more disappointed because of what they did online. They called everyone shitters too. I think Envoy was chirping Gwyn and was saying you're not playing the right way. Thieves clearly did not play the right way at the major. And that's why
I
they
don't know.
only got top 4.
I feel bad for who they play next.
Yeah,
Like
they're gonna go on a revenge tour. It's only 5 match qualifiers now. We're in the second half of the year now. It's only 5 match
they
qualifiers.
actually play Surge next. I honestly,
Ooh, I didn't even know that. Wow. Okay, that'll be
this
fun.
goes either one or two ways. It's a super competitive series, or Thieves just bomb out.
Interesting. I don't know
Yeah,
honestly. Surge look good. We'll get into that in a second. Thieves, dude. I don't know what happened this weekend. I assume it was just a bad weekend. Like, I don't think there's anything in the camp going on, like anything like that. I just think it was a bad weekend at all of them. It's embarrassing for what they're capable of and how dominant they were. Um,
I
we were
mean,
expecting grand finals minimum, second
yeah,
place minimum.
yeah,
Uh, Especially when it wasn't just that they went 7-0. It's that they dropped two maps in 7 matches.
yeah.
They dropped two maps, and one was, I believe, in the beginning against Falcons Search.
I believe so. Yeah.
That, like, what? They were just dominant online. They should have been able to translate it to land. Again, I'm chalking it to a bad weekend. It's embarrassing for them, but hey, it is what it is. Ultra came to play. I love that personally. Let's move on.
Surge Phase. This was the what was it? The only series that went 5 games.
This was the best series of the weekend, and I don't think it's close personally. It's the only one to go map 5. Yes,
And on map 5 went round 11. I mean,
I would listen. I was watching, and I had my fingers crossed. I was like, please go around 11. Please, I need to see a round 11. And we did. This was easily the best series of the whole weekend. And man, it was so fun. It was super competitive from both sides. Faze just came out on top 3-2, man. If I'm Surge, nothing to hang your head at uh, for this series. Like, man, they made it as competitive as can be. Personally, my eyes for the entire Surge team, obviously, like, Neptune is their guy. My eyes were on 0-4 because, one, he's such a playmaker in Search, and two, he's been struggling online. He came to this land with something to prove, and he showed out big time the entire weekend.
yeah.
What do you got? What do you think about the series? Like, did I sum it up
I
pretty
mean, you kind of
quickly?
summed it up. You definitely summed it up well. I mean, for how competitive this series was, the grand final shocked me.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a second.
You're right. We'll
Like,
get into that.
we'll 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 get there. We'll get there. Phase just so icy, man. Draw said it in the interview. Like, these guys are just icy. They're the best team in the game, and it's not even close. Surge gave him a good fight though.
Yeah.
Let's move on. The losers final. Uh, Surge Ultra. Disappointing, if I'm being honest. Uh,
It wasn't as close as I would have hoped it would be.
the map one was close. Map two was close. Map three not
And
so
that for
close. Map four not so close. Half the series was close. I was expecting more out of Ultra. My biggest thing with Ultra has been Kleenex showing up against the top
top
teams,
teams, and he just hasn't.
and he showed up this weekend.
Against
This was the
you.
only bad series out of Kleenex the whole weekend. It was due. It was. It's just unfortunate that it had to be this series for him to have the bad showing.
Yeah.
It's a shame. I was really hoping for another map 5. It looked like it was gonna go that way if Ultra grabbed the map 1, which I still think they should have. I think they trolled at the very end, but Surge to the grand finals. I am glad that we got someone new in the grand finals. I know they Surge showed up in the grand finals for the minor, but I'm talking about LAN. I don't think Surge has been in a grand finals on LAN in a long time. I want to say maybe Modern Warfare 2 was the last time when Pred was still on the team.
Were they in it in Modern Warfare 2?
Major 1. It was New York and Seattle Surge.
Oh my god, that's so long ago
I
now.
know. That's why I like that they made it. Like, even if Ultra made it, like, there's still fresh faces on that squad. Like Joe DeCease, Beans. Beans has never made a final. Like, it would have been nice. Uh, Surge making the final is still nice to see because those guys are all looking for the first chip. But yeah, I would have liked the map 5 here. It's a shame Ultra didn't show up in this series, especially with how they dominated Thieves. But yeah, let's get into the grand finals.
I mean,
Atlanta Faze, man.
there's not really much to talk about here. Faze just outclassed them
Dude,
hard.
this was nothing
It was
close.
the Celium show. Like
MC, man. Dude, he
this man was
dropped
just on a tear.
dude,
One point seven
he
two.
dropped a 1.7 in a grand finals best of 7. That is absurd.
You gotta give props to Draza too. 1.28 is also insane.
Yeah.
The ARs decided this series for Faze, and
Dude,
it wasn't even close. This
it's like I've been telling you, man. The AR is the god gun, bro. I've been telling you this. This shit's OP. But we'll save that for a different time. Uh AR is OP. Phase's ARs are especially OP. But I think that more so goes to who's behind the controller, you know, like MC and Draws were
definitely
just
does.
insane. Like, I don't think Abuza and Nasty had any chance to combat them.
No, not at all.
Dude, to me, from the eye test, watching that grand final, I know stats are a different thing. We can click on the stats, I guess. But, dude, the only one that showed up from the eye test was 04 for the Surge.
I agree.
04, I mean, the stats kind of prove it too. But like, dude, I don't from the eye test, just watching, 04 wanted this grand finals more than anything, and his team just kind of let him down. Abuza with a point 0.7, Nasty 0.8, Neptune 0.8.
The subs dropped more damage than the ARs.
Yeah, which is pretty crazy. I know they get like the most engagements, but like still, the ARs let them down. Abuza especially. Um, this guy's been so good.
Yeah,
But
you can also chalk
man,
it up. It's most of their first grand finals.
I don't
You
think
know,
nerves were a factor personally.
you don't think
If
so?
that if that's what you're getting at, I personally don't think nerves were a factor. What I think this came down to was they ran out of gas.
I
I,
see that.
I think they just ran out of steam. Dude, Zelium had 11,000 damage. Jesus Christ. Dude, yeah. MC, man. I don't know who were the 5 that didn't vote MC, but y'all are brain dead. Like that is insane. Uh MC was just he decided the series. He wanted it. He took it. He went pos 41, 1.7. The only close one was the map 1. The protocol was pretty close actually. The protocol was close. But like two half the series? I don't know. I don't like that. I think Surge just ran out of gas. There's not much else to say there.
Yeah.
Congrats, Faze. I want to ask you, can anyone actually beat Faze? And like I mean that as a genuine question. Like
The
let's
only
say
team I thought that could
Thieves
actually
at their
beat
tippy
them,
top, Surge
if
at their
these,
tippy top,
if
Optic at
thieves
their
are at
tippy
their
top.
if thieves are at their tippy top, they could beat Phase.
Mhm.
Uh, if Surge were at their tippy top, they could definitely beat Phase. But this is also factoring them at their tippy top,
Yes,
right?
yes. That's what I'm asking. Like at their
At
full
their
potential.
full potential, I definitely see Surge beating them. I see LA Thieves beating them, and I could see Ultra beating them.
Ultra.
You know I'm high on Ultra. I I think
That's
if they're at their peak, they could definitely beat them. Are they gonna be playing at their peak most of the year? I
yeah.
that's another question.
I don't
But with how
know.
you worded it, I could see those 3 teams beating them. Other than that, I don't see any of the bottom to mid pack teams beating them.
Well, you don't think Falcons has a chance?
Oh, Falcons, it would be a quick
3-0.
3-0.
Yeah.
FaZe are
Quick
lucky
3-0.
they haven't versed Falcons, okay? Like
So personally, I think on land Faze are unbeatable.
Yeah.
There's no weakness in their game. Their quote unquote weakness was their hard point. That they lost two hard points in the winners finals to Surge. They wiped the floor with them in that grand finals in hardpoint. I know the protocol like says it was close. It wasn't as close as the score makes it out to be. That Hasi map 4 was dominant. They upgrade when they go to the grand finals now, which we weren't able to say before. They were the Silver Surfers, you know? They were always the
They
second
were.
place guys. Not always, but like a lot of the time they were able to get into the grand finals and then that was it. Um with Draza there, they've only lost one grand finals now. If I'm not mistaken, I believe they lost Ultra last year,
Yeah.
and after that was Optic, which they beat, and then they went to EWC, beat Thieves with Draza, and they just won the last two events.
Yeah.
Like, dude, these guys on LAN are genuinely untouchable, and I do agree that Thieves could beat them when they're playing at their peak, like playing at their full potential. But I need to see it to believe it on LAN. And
I mean, they made
dude,
us believe that last major.
no, 100%. And that was what Hydra not performing at his best. Still performing well, but not at what he was performing the whole stage. It's so frustrating to see them crumble like that because they're the only team that stood a chance against
I
FaZe.
agree.
Surge
They put them right in
online.
that winners final.
Yeah, they needed to win
But
that.
I don't know what adjustments FaZe made. Maybe they just saw what Surge was doing that made and shut it down completely.
Yeah, that could be.
But they
Dude,
leveled up after that winners finals.
FaZe just look unstoppable on land. I know I've said it so many times already. These guys are so good, and it's so annoying because they've been so consistent for so long, and it pisses me off how good they are because no one else comes close to them. Like at some point, it just gets boring because they're the best team in the game, and they've been the best team in the game for so long. But that was our major. Um, Not that exciting, with the exception for a few matches. A few matches are pretty fun.
Couple upsets, yeah.
Yeah, a couple upsets. The Breach one was fun. C9 upsetting Ultra was pretty fun. But for the most part, this was a boring event. Especially that grand final. That grand final was not. It wasn't even fun to watch.
No, it was such
Disappointing.
dominance. It wasn't
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. Unless you're like a phase guy, like you were probably just like on your feet. You know what I'm saying? Like just so happy the team's dominating like that. But for everyone else, like it's just so boring.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. We want to break down a team. That's what we want to do. Um, the Boston Breach, they really showed out this weekend. Void, what do you think about the Boston Breach?
I think I've said it already this episode. Like, I don't know what it was coming into this match, but they leveled up. You know, Cammy was performing, Awakening was performing, Purge was performing, and we all know Snoopy's performed all year.
Yeah,
Like, it felt like those series that they won, especially against Thieves, they all just played super coordinated. They knew what they were doing. They knew what they wanted to do, and they were just executing it
yeah.
to perfection.
Their teamwork is really good when they're all on. Like we saw it
100%.
early. We saw it early in the year when they beat Optic. Like I think it was like the first match. They were just so coordinated from all points. We saw it when they beat Thieves, not just on land, but online in the stage one. You saw it. Like they're coordinated. Snoopy's having an incredible bounce back here after the drama that was last year. I'm still on the how do I word this? I'm still on the point that you have to upgrade. You need to pack a punch.
Yeah, but
One
this
of
late
these
into this,
ARs has to go.
yeah, but who do you pick up from challengers? Like,
Pick one.
besides Fellow?
Pick one, man. You pick your poison. You take a risk because at this pace, you I know you're in 7th in the standings, but that could easily change with how horrible of a stage they had. And dude, you have to pack a punch or else everyone else is just getting taken.
I don't know. I can definitely see this team translating what they've done to on LAN to online. You know, if they can just translate it, they would be a middle of the pack team easily. You know, but
Okay. But your whole thing is you want to be competitive, right? Middle of the pack. To me, middle of the pack is not competitive.
yeah,
The
but there's no
goal in the CDL is to win.
yes, but with
Obviously, it's not so realistic because, Faze, thieves, but you got to put yourself in a position to win.
I just don't. It's rare that we see one roster change make such a huge difference, like
Fair.
it did with Surge and Neptune. Like you're just not gonna get the result, like the wins. I would say, like the major wins or the champs by making a singular change,
I think Surge
and
is the best example.
especially
They didn't
yeah,
win, but like,
yeah,
still.
but bringing up a guy from challengers, I just don't see them winning a major if it's not this roster.
You think this roster is the only chance they have to win a major?
I personally believe so.
That's the stupidest take I've ever heard.
But
uh,
I just don't
that's
see
crazy.
any. I don't know. I just don't see any change making that big of a difference.
We
They're,
didn't with
I,
Surge. We didn't think they would turn it
yeah, but
around. I
that's an
think
anomaly. That's an
true,
anomaly.
true,
That's the
but
thing. You can't base it off the surge change because how many one person changes have there been that they've shown little to no improvement?
okay, make a two-man change. By your logic, make a two-man change. Both ARs go bye-bye, and you bring in two new ARs. You need to like Awakening has been very good for them in the last few weeks.
I don't
I'm
know.
not I'm not denying that. But you need to pack a punch. You need you need to put yourself in a position to actually compete at the majors.
I mean, even with two new players, I just don't see them getting better than they are.
So you're
I don't think
this
you can
is
really
this
get
is their
worse.
peak is like what you're saying. Like this is their peak.
Yeah, I think this is their peak. I don't see them. I don't think a change is really gonna make them worse. But I
That's
just
even
don't see
more of
it.
a reason to change.
Yeah, look, I agree there should be a change. I just don't think any change is gonna win them any ships.
It's unrealistic to make that change in hopes of like winning the chip. Like I get that because Faze is Faze. Thieves are always going to be contender.
Even
But
Surge
you
has
can make
Surge and
that
Ultra.
Sunday. If you make that Sunday, who knows what happens? Like look at Ultra for example. Ultra made that Sunday, dominated the LA Thieves, which no one had on their bingo card, and they put themselves in a good position to make the grand finals. Did they make the grand finals? No, they didn't. But they could have. They put themselves in a real good position to make that grand final. Do you see what I'm saying? Like I
I get
get
what you're saying.
I get what you're like you what you're saying does make sense. Like I get it. But
I don't know. I'm just trying to be realistic here.
and that's a fair. I like that. This probably is their peak. Like I can't see them making a Sunday with this roster. I think they need a change.
I don't
They
think
just need more firepower.
See, that's the thing. I don't think they make a Sunday with or without this roster. I just don't
But
see them making a
why? But
Sunday.
why? Why do you think that they won't make it
I just think
with or without this roster?
I just
Like
think the other teams are better. Like
even more of a reason to change, man. Like what? Even more of a reason to change. You gotta pack punch. You gotta get better. Fellow is not the only good AR out there. He's a phenomenal AR. Don't get me wrong in this game. Like he's been incredible. But he's not the only good one. There's definitely others. I don't watch challengers enough to tell you
No,
those
I
good
don't either.
ARs. But there's definitely good ARs out there.
I'm sure there are. I don't know.
Cammy has been so disappointing. Like he played very good at the major. So did, I mean, all of them played well, but it wasn't enough. And I think that's more of a reason to pack a punch. Because you have to get better. If you're not trying to get better, what's the point? Like, what are you even playing for? It's like the Falcons, man. They're not getting better. This year's a waste of time. This year, like, if Boston made changes, let's say they make a two-man change, right? Both ARs gone. They could pull a surge. They could.
That's just wishful thinking.
They gotta do something. You can't just sit here and be complacent with top six in a 12-team league where the Sundays are wide open. Like, Ultra bombed out of the first major. Surge weren't even good at the first major. Surge turned it around completely. Ultra bounced back. If you beat those teams, you make the Sunday. I don't know. I personally think you need to pack a punch. You need to upgrade. You always need to upgrade. That's my sentiment. I do understand that you think this is their peak and no change is going to change that.
Yeah.
I get it. I have more belief in, I guess, other players than these players. Like, these players are not good. Cammy,
I can't put my faith in players, especially since I don't watch challengers really.
I don't watch it
I
either,
watch.
but like anyone's better than Cammy online. Like it's sad to say, but like he's just not good online.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on from Breach. We got our team of the week. That is what we got next. Void, take it away because you came up with yours like almost instantly. I think 5 seconds after I asked you, you came up with it.
I mean, I feel like there's no explanation here. It's pretty obvious. Celium, and Simp. They dominated this major. There's no conversation. I feel like they were the best two players at this major. There's really not much to say. They just dominated the rest of the opponents.
Yeah, those guys are beasts. Those guys are insane. That's a good two. That's a good two. I can't lie. I came up with mine pretty quick. Draza, my AR, incredible weekend, and my sub is not a Beezy. We're not going all four Atlanta Faze. My fourth is Joe Deceives. The guy,
I agree with that.
dude, the guy was insane. There were a lot of times throughout the Ultras run this weekend where my jaw dropped and I was like, Joe Deceives is the best player in the game. That happened a lot this weekend. Obviously, like he isn't the best player in the game because they didn't win. But like, man, everything he did just worked until it didn't. Literally until Surge.
Yeah.
The guy is insane. The guy is such a fun watch. I'm a big Joe Deceives guy. I was last year. This year's no different. Joe Deceives, man. Big shout out to Joe. And Draws is just Draws, He talks his smack. Everyone says fuck you, Draza. I love the chance.
He shows up.
He shows up and wins. You can say fuck you all you want. Are you
He's
winning?
A winner.
He's a winner. He's a world champ. Faze just, dude, these guys just look unstoppable. Everyone's got to level up. Like, there's so many people that need a change. I'm expecting changes this week.
I think this is the last point in the season that you're realistically, if you're not a bottom team, you're gonna make a change in the next month or so.
Mhm.
It,
Which, to close this out, final question to you. I know we're running a little long. Just one question. Which mid pack team can you see changing? Ravens, C9. Actually, just Ravens or C9, actually. Just out of those two.
Hands down, C9.
C9?
They they've proven they could show up. I think I know I said I'm against like one man changes really making a difference, but I think changing Mac would make the world of difference.
You think he's been playing that bad?
I don't think he's been playing that bad. I just think if you get a better playmaker SMG, I mean you already have Kremp,
Dude, he's been so good.
so for me it's either him or Attach. There's no question about Sib or Kremp. They've been playing lights out. They've been playing amazing. If I was C9, I would definitely be looking to change at least one or two man change. Because
Yeah. I think you're right. I think that team out of those two is the one that should change. I think Ravens are making a change. I think they're dropping Vivid, personally. And I don't think Vivid is the problem on that roster.
that
I
see
think he's always going to be the scapegoat. He was always going to be the scapegoat.
the problem with the Ravens, I don't think
It's
it's
not
just
a Vivid
one man.
problem.
It's not a one man problem for that team. I think it's a 4-man problem against top teams.
It's a Gwyn problem. The dude's an onliner. Dude, he's literally like one of the best players I've ever seen online. This guy is absurd. But he's not going to win a major if he can't perform on land. And that's where it lies. But Gwen is just so good online that they're not going to drop him, And I don't think they should drop him, but like someone's got to be the scapegoat. Vivid was always going to be the scapegoat.
Yeah,
Like out of those four, Vivid was always going to be that scapegoat. Like that's just how it is. And it's kind of like Optic now. Skies is the scapegoat right now. Like when they're not gonna perform, because I don't think they're gonna perform with this roster for Optic. Skies is gonna be the scapegoat. I think
100%.
with the Raven squad, Vivid is not the problem, but he's going to be labeled as the problem. I think Ravens are dropping them. They're gonna try to grab someone from challengers. That's what I think personally. Unless we get some new maps in the pool that favor ARs, that's the only way I can see
I don't see any
Vivid
map
saying.
getting added to the pool, especially this late.
I hope so, man.
I mean, I
If
know last year we got Rio and 6-star pretty late,
yeah,
but I don't know. All the maps they've released have kind of sucked.
yeah, but we're getting like 5 new maps in the next season. I think the next season's next week, right? Next week with Verdansk dropping.
Next week and a half, I would say.
A week and a half ish, yeah. With Verdansk dropping is a whole new season, right?
Yes.
So that's probably when we'll get a few new maps. I believe they said like 5 new maps.
Is it all going to be the start of the season?
No,
or
no, no. Not all of it is the start. I think 2 or 3 in the beginning, and then they'll drop the other 2 like later on. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Pretty sure that's what it is. They said 1 remaster. Frequency from BO4, please, please, please let me play it with Omni Movement. So that's gonna wrap up the show. Let us know your thoughts. We ran a little long. Said we weren't gonna run long, but like got a little.
Every time we say we're gonna do a very short episode, it ends up being long.
Yeah, I ranted a little bit. He ranted a little bit. Little rants. But peace out, guys. Enjoy.